Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment. And don't forget, coming to you raw and uncut. Alrighty, SmackDown tonight. Ah, man. I mean, I'm looking at it like this. I'm not sure what Triple H is doing. I mean, we all keep talking about Triple H, and we talk about the numbers of WWE. The viewership is going down, you know, um, and it's crazy. Now you're paying more to watch, the PLEs and stuff like that, and then they give you what we get every Monday and Friday night, because Raw and SmackDown have really been bad. There's no storytelling, no storylines, or anything. You know, I mean, I don't know what's going on. And I just blame it on Triple H. And Triple H most of the time he's not even there at the arenas when stuff is going on. I mean, like tonight SmackDown. I mean, we have a pay-per-view coming up. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday, and nothing here except for the signing of the contract with the ladies championship for the crown jewel and stuff, but the other matches have nothing to really do with anything. And we're going to go with that as we go through SmackDown and through the segments of what went down tonight. Okay, so now we get started with Cody Rhodes coming out to the ring. you know and even before Cody could even say anything, he started talking, and then Paul Heyman interrupts him and stuff. And he comes down the ring with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker and stuff. And then all of a sudden, Randy Orton shows up. So now, you have all four of them: Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed in the ring. And then, Paul Heyman starts saying that, they're not here for Cody Rhodes, that they're there for Randy Orton, and saying that, I mean, I guess trying to get into their heads, like basically telling Cody that Orton is going to, turn on them during the match and stuff like that, and I mean, it's just, it's just crazy stuff, you know, um, and I mean, how are they not gonna wait through the not make it through the match? I mean, there's really nothing been going on between Cody and Randy. I mean, yeah, Randy has been definitely looking at that belt, and I'm sure he's gonna get his title shot and stuff. But then after he says that, after Paul Heyman was saying that, he says not a spoiler, it's not a prediction, it's a prophecy and stuff, that what's going to happen later on tonight when Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, face off with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Then we get Carmelo Hayes backstage, and the Miz show up, and the Miz is asking, Camilla what happened last week, and Camilla, um, is telling him like, look, man, I mean, you try to steal the match and everything, and he knew what he was doing, and he had the reason why not to come to the ring because of what Miz did and what Miz tried to do and stuff. They were up, against the Street Profits, trying to, get that number one position to fight the Wyatts for the tag titles. But as we all know, the Miz tried to steal the match when Camilla hit his finishing move, and so things like that happen. So you kind of figure out, Camilla, because he's going to try to go and take Sami Zayn up on his on Sami Zayn's, giving people opportunity as far as for that U.S. title is concerned. So Camilla Hayes comes out and he starts talking and everything. He's telling to Sammy that he doesn't have to worry about anything and anyone holding him back and stuff. He's his own man, and things happen on his own time, and it's his time, to come, and show him who him is and stuff. And then as he's getting ready to go to the ring, here comes doggone the Miz, and everything, and he hits Camelo Hayes with the crushing finale, and stands over him, talking smack, and then out comes Alistair Black, and then Alistair Black comes out and says, "Hey, look, U.S. title, okay, I'll take the challenge." So then it becomes Sami Zayn versus Alistair Black, and the match, I mean, it was back and forth. It was okay. Alistair had a little upbeat on him and stuff like that. It was nice to see Sammy with a top to top rope suplex and everything. And then all of a sudden, through the match, Damian Priest comes out. I mean, he doesn't even interfere in the match; he just shows up and stuff. And then Alistair Black is not, is not paying attention, and he catches a halua kick, and then he gets the doggone H bomb put on him, and he loses. And then then Damian Priest grabs Alistair Black out of the ring, holds him over his shoulder, and he edges him through the announcer's table and stuff. And that was the end of that talking. He kind of like talked smack to him a little bit, and then walked off. Then we got Alba Fyre and Chelsea Green, you know, um, talking to Nick Aldis and everything. You got Soul Ruca and Zaria. They're still trying to figure out, what can they do and how they can position themselves, to go up against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss for the tag team titles. And how Elba Fire and Chelsea Green started talking, especially Chelsea Green. So it got them into a match with Soul Ruca and Zaria. The match was okay. Actually, probably to me, it was the best match of the night and stuff. And Soul Ruca and Zara, they win the match. Soul Ruca um, hits Alba Fire with the Soul Snatcher and wins the match. All right, and then go backstage, and then Charlotte and Alexa Bliss are back there, and they, with Kathy Kelly, and they're saying that the match was good and everything, and that Soul Ruca and Zara, you know, they may be ready for a title shot. So when that time comes, I guess we'll get to see that. And then you got Cody Rhodes telling Randy Orton, you know, that he has his back and that he can be trusted and stuff, So that's cool. And then we got the female crown jewel signing with Tiffany Stratton and Stephanie Vaquer. Now, I understand Stephanie Vaquer, she's trying to learn the language in English, and I give her a props. She's trying, but it's still hard to try to understand what she's actually saying. And then we already know Tiffany Stratton is definitely not good on, the mic and stuff. And I don't know how long Tiffany's going to be, champion and everything. I mean, she's okay, but I think it's time for that title run of hers to end. I'm sure she's not going to win Crown Jewel. I think that's going to go to Stephanie Vaquer and stuff. And then it's funny, because the fact is that, Tiffany's always coming out saying everything. And then when she goes to say, hey, it's Tiffany time, nobody in the audience responded to it. It was silent and stuff. And that was crazy. And then as, Tiffany jumps out of the ring as she gets ready to go to the back and everything, Julia, attacks her from behind. And Fallon Henley and Julia go to the ring, and they're trying to recruit Stephanie back here to come to their side and everything, and it's basically more are you either with us or you against us or whatever the case may be. And then Tiffany Stratton gets up, grabs Julia, pulls her out of the ring. She grabs Fallon Henley, pulls her out of the ring. Julia tries to attack Stephanie. Stephanie gets a little bit upper hand of her. Julia gets away, and they're out of the ring. And then there's this match set up next week with Stephanie back here. I'm sorry. Yeah, with Stephanie back here and Tiffany Stratton against Julia and Fallon Henley, which makes zero sense because why would you have the two champions who are going to fight the next night? the next night for Crown Jewel. It just really, see, that's what I'm saying. It just makes zero sense, man. I don't know what the hell Triple H is doing, but it's getting crazy now. But anyway, we move on. And Javon Evans, and Nick Aldis, they're talking. Nick Aldis is telling Javon Evans that he's doing good work, and if he keeps up the good work, he can have a big future in the WWE, which is true. I believe that. Javon Evans is good, and when they start pulling up some of these people, from NXT, like they did with Zaria and Ruca, I mean, they're going to have some good people, and if they push them right, they could be some of the wrestlers of the future. You know, um, Man, I can name a list, and I think I'll do a video on that too. Probably sometime this week on that. Stay tuned. And then you got Ray Phoenix joining, thinking that they could be, a good tag team. And then here comes Los Garza, you know, and they make a challenge, and then we have the match: Javon Evans, Ray Phoenix against Los Garza and stuff. The matches, yeah, it was okay and stuff. It was high flying, very high flying and stuff. I mean, if you like that kind of stuff, more or less luchador kind of thing, that's kind of like the match was, but it was a lot of high flying. And Javon Evans, I think, is the truth and stuff. And then, the Mexican destroyer was put on Angel. And for the 1, 2, 3, Javon Evans and Ray Phoenix win the match. Then you got Jacob Fatu, you know, backstage, saying, hey, yada, I mean, and all this stuff, talking about Drew McIntyre and stuff. And maybe there'll be a match set up for that Friday, who knows, and stuff. But it's sometimes I think some of the things that they put on there, just a waste of time, nothing to really build up. These guys are mad, but they're not building into anything. And it's it's crazy. So, but anyway, with this thing with Damian Priest, backstage with Kat Kelly, and she's asking, when is this going to end with Alistair Black, and him and stuff, because I think the whole WWE universe is asking the same thing. We got Damian Priest again with Alistair Black, but this time is the last man standing match. So it'll be good. And it's for SmackDown next week. Then we get Solo Takoa talking about, his family, MFTs and stuff. And now they're bringing in Tonga, and it is whatever. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned and stuff. And then you got Captain Keller asking the Street Profits, are they good together? Are they okay? And then B Fab is telling them that yeah, they're good. And then Angela Dawkins say yeah, we're good. There's no problems. And Montez Ford is also agreeing, saying the same thing. Hey, they here and they want the smoke. And then the Y6 trying to get into, you know, the Street Profits' heads and everything, trying to, pull them apart and say that, hey, either you guys may be brothers, but are y'all really together and stuff? Are you really like family, like you say you are and stuff? And so they look at each other and, we'll see. Stay tuned. Then we get the main event: Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Um, the match is okay. It was very predictable, on what was going to happen in here and stuff. I mean, Cody was doing this thing. I can't believe Cody, jumped through the ropes and flew. I wasn't expecting any of that and stuff. And then as Cody and Randy was getting a little bit up on them, you know, um, all hell just started breaking out and stuff. Just like normal with with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. It's smash and grab. You know, Seth Rollins comes in, because Randy was about ready to get down on him, and then Seth Rollins comes in with the interference of Paul Heyman, and stomps he stomps Randy Orton. Bronson Reed, grabs him, pulls him into the corner area, tsunamis him, and for the 1, 2, 3, they pin Orton and they win the match. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed win. And actually I think that's just, jobbing Randy Orton out, and I just don't like that part of it and stuff. And then as the match is over with, Seth Rollins is out there. He's thinking and thinking and thinking. Paul Heyman saying, hey, whatever you're doing, whatever you're thinking, don't do it. Don't do it and stuff, because I think, Seth is kind of having second thoughts on what could happen at Crown Jewel and stuff. And then all of a sudden, Seth heads to the ring. He goes to try to stomp Cody. Cody moves and everything. And then Cody catches him in the crossroads and puts him down. And that was the end of the show. So, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. Let me know how you're feeling. Thank you for watching. God bless, deuces, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.